Hello, and welcome to another episode of Deepen with Christina. I'm your host, Christina Weber. Today, we're going to get into energy orgasms. Yes, you heard me correctly, energy orgasms. It's interesting when I say that word, sometimes you can get a little bit of, I think not exactly know how to imagine what I mean when I say an energy orgasm. Some people can feel intimidated by that topic, but energy is oozing through our bodies, is all around us. And to be able to access that energy and to create a feeling with inside of your body that is so natural and so freeing and so up leveling, it also can release traumas, things that are holding you back, stagnant energy, so that you can spiral up. My guest here today, Natalya Krayeva. Did I get it?
Correct. Yes.
Say it. You say it so beautifully. How do you say it in Russian?
Natalya Krayeva.
Oh, so Natalya in Austin, Texas from Miami. Natalya is out here in Austin. She just facilitated and participated in her first We Deepen Love Immersion over the weekend. And while she was out here, I'm like, we have to share with the world about energy orgasms. Natalya, welcome to Deepen with Christina.
Thank you so much for the invitation to the podcast, for the invitation into your community, and of course the invitation to love immersion. Mm.
How was your experience at Love Immersion?
Orgasmic.
Orgasmic. I think you're the first one that's ever answered in that way. People said it's felt like an ayahuasca ceremony journey. You go deep into the shadow. Day one, there's a lot of releasing and crying and moving through emotions, not in a heavy way, though, in a really light, opening, coming back to yourself way. We also call day one is where you're tapping into your state of innocence, your childlike wonder. Day two is de-armoring, opening up your heart, moving those layers. I know you did a bit of that, of tapping into even more deeply believing in love and true love. And then day three is graduation and celebration. So I love that you have defined your entire experience of love immersion as orgasmic.
And orgasmic expansion.
How so for you?
That would be the word. I mean, two words for me. Because expansion is like I feel expanded in my energy. And I believe that energy on its own is neutral. And we as humans can give it a color or can give it a quality. And if your energy is negative energy, that's what you feed. If your energy is love energy and loving energy, you can feed into the expansion of love. And if your energy is orgasmic energy, you will feed into expansion of the orgasms. And that's how I feel. I feel expansive in my orgasmic energy. I feel expansive into joy and pleasure and happiness, and tapping into love, which is like another avenue of orgasmic energy as well. But romantic love is that what I had a request or intention when I was going into love immersion. I had an intention of like tap into the romantic love energies, and I step into it. I did step into it, and I felt that it is possible.
I've played with the tagline of Love Immersion being main character weekend, because each person steps into that experience with all the experiences that have come before, all of the conditioning, all of the heartbreak, all of the tension within inside of themselves. And then they expand the range. As you said, you expand your capacity, expand. There's an expansion happening into greater self-awareness and also into access to more resources and tools and wherewithal to support you in having an extraordinary love life. And that does include romantic love.
Mhm.
And it includes intimacy, it includes opening your heart, and to witness you of being, first off, we're going to get into energy orgasms because, so to witness you in opening up in your heart in that way and fully participating on the hot seat and watching you, just tap into, if I just allow myself to believe 1%, 1% that being in a relationship and a healthy dynamic is possible for me too.
Mhm.
And so often it's really easy to give up on love. It's really easy to be like, you know what? In my 30s or 40s, 50s, that's just not my path this lifetime. But the greater that you align with what's most true and most authentic for you, the more that we have the ability to come into right relations
Mhm.
with somebody for us. And I believe part of that is when you also step into your dharma. What are you meant to do here? What are you passionate about? Passion is one of the most sexiest qualities to see in somebody. When I first moved from New York City to Los Angeles, I was hosting dating events. And I remember some of the men saying to me, like, I just want to meet more women who are doing something, who have some level of passion.
Mhm.
I mean, it could even be seashells, like just give like a nature, botany. You have developed a passion for energy orgasms. How fun and attractive is that? If you're listening, you might be thinking, wow, I didn't know that being a facilitator of energy orgasms was a career opportunity for me. You're the first person that I've ever met who has that career. How did you come into that?
Uh, You're talking about passion, and like my whole body is vibrating. I can feel it. It's not only in my body, but like mostly in my lower belly, where the sexual energy leaves, where it awakens, and like my every cell is vibrating and like saying yes, like in excitement, because like as we talked about at the love immersion, um, after the Saturday experience, after the Saturday night, you're like, oh, we all saw that you are doing your dharma. You are doing exactly what you need to do in this lifetime. And this is my passion, to like connect connecting people to their orgasmic energy, and making it as a career. I never thought it would be my career. The first time that I I was like, I was in awe, or I was surprised about it when I spoke with my neighbors, and they were like, okay, what is it that you do? And I said, well, I'm an intimacy coach, and I host Energy Orgasms workshops. And they're like, what is that? How do people, like, what kind of career is that? I'm like, I created it for myself.
And now you also train other people to have that same career as well.
Now I train other people. And it happened that 7 years ago, 7 years ago, when I was at the lowest part of my life, I was going through the deeper, like the darkest time of my life. I was going through divorce. I was going through miscarriage. I was going through loss of a job, and I was drinking alcohol excessively. So everything that you can possibly imagine was um, lost in my life. I was under ground zero. And at that time of my life, I really felt like a shadow of the person. I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel like a woman. I didn't even feel like a human.
Mm.
I was like a shadow of, just a shadow, I would say. So I ended up in rehab. And after I came back, I decided that I need to change my life completely because everything in my life was wrong. And because I do have previous training experiences in trainings in different modalities, esoteric modalities like yoga, and I did study a lot about sexual energy, but mostly like to just to know about it, not necessarily to practice it.
So you could have better sex yourself.
Yes, yes. Um, but that was interesting. Knowing it doesn't mean that something is changing in your life, because even though I knew all of it, I didn't do anything about my life with this knowledge. And at that point, what I was telling you, like my sex life was also like no sex life. I didn't want to have sex with my ex-partner for a long time. I just didn't want to. So when I was getting into that journey of like, okay, I need to change my life. Okay. And I do have this knowledge. How about me doing what I know and doing all these practices, doing all these exercises of energy activation and coming back to my body. And that's exactly what I started to do. And
This is yoga, breath work.
it is yoga, not so much of the breath work. There some parts of the breath work, but a lot of practice from yoga, a lot of practices or techniques from shamanic tradition, from shamanism, without using plant medicine, but specific also breath work, shamanic breath work, getting into your subconscious mind, a lot of rewiring of your subconscious mind, different types of guided meditations.
So you're doing this by yourself at home.
That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing for the
to
first
pick
year.
yourself back up
Yes.
from being on the ground.
I just wanted to feel better. All I wanted is just to feel better and just to feel like a normal person. I did have a teacher in Russia. So I did study with her online. So she was guiding me through this process as well for a couple of months. And then,
And when you say this process, what is this process?
of coming back
To yourself.
to myself, coming back to myself. I just wanted to feel better. And that's number one. Number two, I wanted to prove my ex. I had a lot of energy from that because I wanted to prove him that he's wrong, that I had that anger in me. And it helped me.
What was he wrong about?
I remember his words when I was leaving, that you are fucking fat piece of shit. Nobody's ever going to love you. No one will ever want to have sex with you.
It's a good thing to prove wrong because it definitely seems like an inaccurate statement.
Yes. So I remembered the first year, like I remembered those words so vividly, and that was my fuel. And even though right now, yes, we do in this healing journey, we do tell people and coach people, don't do it for somebody else, do it for yourself. But back then, I didn't know what to do for myself. I had no idea what to do for myself. What is your goal? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. What are your desires? I don't know. Like I didn't have any desires. I didn't have a passion. I was like numb for everything. But my only desire was to prove him wrong. And
I mean, from a spiritual perspective, it seems that he was put into your life for that specific reason, to shake you up, because nothing else, or maybe something else would have, I can't really say that, but this is what changed you.
Yes.
And that darkness, that jab, that nudge is shook you up in a way that helped you become more of the most authentic version of yourself.
So I often say like, fake it till you make it works. because that fuel helped me to do meditation. That fuel helped me to do everyday yoga. That fuel helped me to do, I did a lot of intimate muscle fitness. I can tell a little bit more about it, but it's kind of Kegel exercises, but more advanced. So I've done that a lot, that like building up those pelvic floor muscles, because this is where uh like your pump is.
So you're doing all these practices, and then what happens?
So, like I said, I was in rehab. So the first year of sobriety, they don't recommend to date anyone. And they were right. Like I didn't have the capacity, mental capacity or emotional capacity to date anyone. So I was celibate for a year. And then the year passed, and it was kind of like a check mark for me. Like, okay, I spent all this year on myself, looking into the mirror, and I like what I see. I'm like, oh my God, it's been a year, and I like the woman in the mirror. And so this guy was trying to get me on the dates, and finally I said yes, and we started dating, and we had sex. So was like a turning point for me, because when we had sex, when we was intimate and we started getting into the action, and when I started having an orgasm, that orgasm, I remember like it was yesterday. It was a beautiful scene, like a beautiful, like a house with the pool and all these lights, like lights here. And I am having an orgasm, and it lasts for like 30 seconds, for a minute, for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. 30 minutes later, I'm exhausted, but I'm feeling great. And where this explosion that happened in my intimate area already moves through my whole body. And it's like it's moving through waves, and it's less and less and more, and it just doesn't stop. So I remember like telling my partner at that time, like, what is happening with me? But he was so proud of himself. And he's like, are you enjoying yourself? I said, of course, but I don't understand. It never happened to me. Yes, I did have orgasms, but not like this. So after that experience, we didn't last long because we had different lifestyles. Um, I started dating somebody else. Same thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm the common denominator in the scene. What did I do to my body so that it gives me these experiences? So I started to reverse engineer everything that I've been doing that year. And it was around COVID time, by the way. So we were on the lockdown, and I started teaching on Instagram, going live on Instagram for every single day for like 2 months, and just teaching everything that I've been doing that year.
Was it called Energy Orgasms at
No,
this minute? No.
I called it female yoga for women, or something like feminine energy. Yeah.
Because at this point, you're also finding your career at the same time. You're discovering who you are as an individual, who you are as a sexual being in relationship, and then who you are as a contribution to society.
Yes, I remember I was so excited about it. So I wanted all women to experience it.
Why just women?
Women. Because at that point, at that time, I didn't feel safe with men. I didn't want to work with men. I felt safer with women. And everything that I did, I thought was only available for women to experience. So that's why I wanted to only work with women. And I did only work with women back then. It was like 6 years ago. And I was telling everybody about this like orgasms, even though I didn't have the vocabulary for it. I only had the excitement about it. I only had the feeling, the sensations, but I didn't know how to explain it. So many times, women would be like, well, I do have orgasms. I'm like, but you don't understand. This is different. This is much better. So that's why I started getting into Tantra, into learning more about Kundalini, learning more about, I went to Egypt to learn about the Vajad and their practices. I went to Kamchatka, which is the far east of Russia, to learn shamanism and how they get into subconscious mind. I studied hypnotherapy, and to be particular, hypnotherapy for sexual dysfunctions. So I was getting into this world to understand what happened with me and how I can make it accessible for more people, so I would have the vocabulary and to explain what it is and why people need it.
What is, like, if you were to tell somebody who's a novice, what is energy? What is energy, you know, in how is it moving through the human body?
Uh, We have, like, we're all energy, right? But if I want to go, if I want to be more specific, I would talk about sexual energy, which is our engine, our power. This is our drive. This is our passion. This is our desires. And this sexual energy is it's like, if you're looking at the fireplace, this is the fireplace. This is where the fire comes out, like, and it's burning, and it's burning. This is the engine. This is like your drive. And this drive can move through your whole body, so that we have another very powerful center, which is our heart, which is like the ultimate power. And you can feel your heart, and you can feel that love energy when you're falling in love, or when you have love for your children, or you have a love for a puppy. I'm giving those most common ideas of, because some people never felt romantic love, or they have rejections against their parents. So, but when you're feeling, well, in one way or another, we all felt love. It doesn't matter if, like, for a puppy, for a child, for a parent, for romantic love.
What does love feel like to you?
It is that warm sensation in the body, and you just want to do everything for that person or for that being. Um, and we have another powerful center, which is our brain, right? Our brain, our thoughts. This is where you get into manifestation. When you manifest something, is from mostly from your brain. And when you can feel that burning fire, that sexual energy inside of your body, and when you can move it into your heart, and when you can melt, and when you can melt your heart with this energy using your brain, right? And you can move this energy from your heart and through your whole body, and you can just drop into this energy and feel this warm sensations through your whole body. This is how you start melting into this pleasant orgasmic sensations. And that's how I would explain the energy in the body.
As being a practitioner of this, is this something that you're tapping into on a regular basis with or without a partner?
You can.
Are you?
I am. Yeah, I am. This year more than ever. I had some, um, I had to step back from it for some time last year. But this year, as soon as I started to come back to it, I feel so much more in tuned with myself.
Why did you have to step back from it last year?
I started doubting myself.
What were you doubting?
Um, because okay, I'll tell you why. Because I do all this work and I started doubting like if this work is exactly what I am placed on earth to do. What if I need to create a family and kids, and this is on the way for that part of my life. So that was my doubt, because to do this work, um, it it takes over my whole life, and I love it. I've loved every second of it, because I see the transformation in people, how much more beautiful their life becomes, how much they have more like joy and like have more pleasure in their life, and how just the quality of life changes. I love it.
I have been of witness to you facilitating 2 workshops now and getting to watch people open up in ways that I didn't know they were like these are people because they're inside of the Love Club or at a love immersion, people who I've grown to know, and some of them who are skeptical as well. And I've seen them shed tears, energetic frequencies that were holding them back. That sounds strange to say if you're listening, but it's like the body is literally releasing. We've known now over time, we've heard the body keeps score,
Mm-hmm.
the body remembers, it holds the trauma. Well, I've witnessed them literally releasing and nearly being reborn. And also then moving in through states of joy and ecstasy and laughing. And then even coming into some like what you can tell is like sexual aliveness, arousal with inside of their system in a purely safe space that you are holding them energetically, the entire room through that process. So, yes.
Like once it's activated, this an enormous amount of energy that we all have, and unfortunately body keeps the score, and during our lifetime we're making our energy smaller without even knowing it. And once it is activated and being into aliveness in a safe container, like in the workshops, in a safe space, it starts to come out from the depths of your sexual energy, of the depth of your body, of your depth of your soul, and it's washing away. It's like water. Like you open that faucet and the water is washing through your whole body, through all those blocks that you have been holding for years, through all those traumas that you had. Sometimes you have no idea that they still exist because your psyche doesn't let you get inside of it, but the energy doesn't give a flying fuck, right? It's just like it's on the way. It has to get out. So it would wash away all those like glimpses and negativity and skepticism and everything, all those like um negative uh thoughts that you have about yourself, that you cannot do something. It would just wash away.
Are you familiar with reality transurfing?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a practice that uh, was created by a Russian.
Vadim Zeland.
Oh, he's from New Zealand.
No. His name is Vadim Zeland.
Vadim Zeland, yes, and he's Russian.
Yes.
So I feel like there's some correlation with the steps of reality transurfing in accessing this energy so that you can slide into a new reality.
That is so funny. I read his works after like I started reading him only this year. And when I started reading him, I'm like, my God, he's talking about the same. His practice is a little different. I bring it into the body with the touch, and but it is so the same. Like we are creating in those 3 hours in the workshop, or when I work in one-on-one, or even more in 3 days trainings, a new reality, um, a new quality of the cells, new quality of the stem cells, new quality of the DNA by washing away everything that doesn't serve you anymore, and um, bringing joy and pleasure and ecstasy and orgasms and love and support and care and kindness, in bringing them into the place where the negativity or doubt or rejection or loneliness or sadness or traumas or tragic situations were. It's washed. Now we're bringing laughter.
I've been fascinated by reality transurfing for the past year. I have a f- a- I've concluded that once I start setting is shortly after my last relationship ended.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because my system was um, dancing back and forth, was feeling tension around family and um, and having like that grounding force in my life within that partnership together. And he wasn't available for that type of relationship that I wanted. And I also have this big dream of building, I'm the founder of We Deepen,
Mm-hmm.
but I also view myself as a co-founder of the love and relationship industry. And it's interesting of like, you and I are in around the same age,
Yeah, same
you know,
age.
same age, 1981 baby. 1981 baby, shout out. And we're moving through like that. Oh, I thought life would have been different. I thought I would be a mom and have children. And I also have this passion for love and wanting, wishing, desiring that our educational curriculums included programming that taught us how to prepare us to have healthy, loving relationships. So both you and I are colleagues in this and making this choice. And also as we're, clearing out the energy and sliding to new timelines, more of what we desire becomes available
Mm-hmm.
because it is ever expanding. It is beyond the mind. So I'm curious where you have come to now in moving through that doubt. Should I be focused on energy orgasms, or should I be creating a family and looking for my significant loved one to find that father figure for these kids? Where did you land on that?
Right now, I'm back to my energy orgasms era. And what I brought from love immersion is that only by not making myself smaller, because this is what I started to do last year. I started to make myself smaller so that I would find that Mr. whatever perfect, that like I started doubting, like I said, like I started doubting that like with my work, how I'm gonna find this man who will accept me in this work.
Isn't that so funny that you're shrinking, but yet shine so brightly so he can see you? Like that's more of the right aligned strategy. Be yourself, the most authentic self, because whoever you would have met in that point, you probably would have dumped pretty quickly.
Exactly. I've done it. So, So it did happen. So that's why this year I'm like, no, this is, I need to be even more than I think I am, because through the last weekend, this weekend immersion, I felt my expansion. I felt my expansion, like even more than I thought I was. And it was scary. It was exciting, but this is what I am meant to do. And I'm not shedding myself, not for a bit. I'm doing opposite of it.
Natalya, and if you're listening, the truth is you are always more than you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already are that more, and you get to come into it with each and every day. So, how has your viewpoint on men changed over the past 6 years as you've been facilitating? Because now your workshops do include both men and women.
Mm-hmm. So it happened I don't remember the exact timeline, but I did during this activation of the energy, I get to drop into trance states, so-called shamanic journeys, or trance states where you get to see what your subconscious mind has for you. Like you can go to those journeys through the plant medicine or through the breath work. I do it my way. I do it through the orgasms, and I find it the most pleasant ways. But this is me. So in one of those journeys, I asked myself, like, what is it with men? Like, why, what is happening? Like, why do I have like so resistant? And I'm like, I don't feel safe. And I met in that journey I met with Jesus Christ, actually. That was like crazy part. I can tell you all about it later. But I felt his pain, and I felt that he told me that I need to work with men, basically. And when I started working with men, thing changed, because I was all about like women power, women empowerment. Like we're being so suppressed, and like we need to step into the power, but more like from the space of like, I hate you. Like I need to step into my power. And once I started working with men in one-on-one, I started to see that they're also human.
They are. I love men.
Like they're also human, and they also have their fears. They also have their emotions. They also go through traumas, like in a different way. And they also have not they also have no access to understand what is happening with them.
And we have so many keys for them.
So
They have protection for us, and we have ecstatic states of bliss and joy to show them.
that changed how I see men, and I started loving them, and I started working with them more and more without like any hesitation, how it was at the beginning.
I produced a charity event annually called Feminine Weapon Day. January 30th is Feminine Weapon Day. And I would bring together both men and women. Typically, the host committee would be a group of women, and we'd have female singer-songwriters perform. It was a concert, and we'd raise funds for children of abuse, extreme poverty, and human trafficking. And each year would have a theme. Year number 5, the theme that came to me uh, was for the love of men. Each year, the men showed up to support the event, and it negotiated the venues. They were the backline band. They bought half of the tickets. And so this year, I was going to celebrate men,
Mm-hmm.
and we would invite the men to be part of a photography exhibit. Women would elect them. men who support them, uplift them, make them happy. And I'd send a photographer out to capture gorgeous photos and overlay of how he supported this particular woman, the quote from her over that image. And we displayed them in large projector screens at the concert. This particular year, this is going into 2017 to 2018. So it was January 2018. And I was producing this event in both LA and New York City on the exact same night.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was 2 weeks after this idea, the theme got downloaded into my consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
what unfolded in the media was Time's Up and Me Too. I got majorly bullied online. I posted in one women's group and invited them to elect men. And I went to sleep. I woke up, and that group in the thread had hundreds of comments of angry women. How dare you do that to women who are like, I think this is a good idea. I think we should love men too.
Mm-hmm.
And I even met with an actress, famous actress in Los Angeles, about emceeing the show. And we hung out for an evening. And at the end of the evening, as she was getting out of my car, she said, you know, Christina, I want men to be terrified right now.
Mm-hmm.
A man touched me in a business meeting and then pulled away and said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not quite sure what I can do right now. She said, I looked at him and I said, good. You should be scared right now. I realized in that moment that she was not going to MC the show, and that I was going to MC the show. And the one who MC'd the show with me was Delia Janelle, who was the founder of Art Day More, the nonprofit that we supported that would bring art and healing programs to the children orphanages around the world. She was the one who would look into the children's eyes, hear their stories. And most of these children were abused by men. And there she was standing on the stage with me, both of us, of proclaiming that love is the way to love men. And during that time, I got to hear the stories men would say, we don't know. What do you love about us? Like, what do you like? We don't know. Tell us what you love about us. And it was such a healing process. And when these movements can coexist at the same time. Yes, time's up. Yes, Me Too. And yes, For the Love of Men, all at the same time, because they are really craving. And what we've seen at Love Immersion, inside Love Club, at your workshops, is that both of the parties together is so healing when the judgment is released. And we see we are all we are all always doing the best we can at every moment. And none of us were equipped with this role that we're playing right now towards Epic Love. And we are like, there are so many that are committed to walking each other home, to being a safe space, and to having a lot of fun along the way.
While you're talking, I'm getting into this between the worlds.
Between the worlds.
Between the worlds.
We are between the worlds. We are in the middle.
We're in the middle.
A society is in the middle right now. And we have such an opportunity to jump over. And it's because of teachers and facilitators like you that are guiding us to that next iteration of what's possible. We don't even know that we have the ability to access energy the way that you're teaching us and leading us to do, and to feel these states of freedom.
This is like when you see people dropping into this energy, like, yes, it is energy orgasms, sounds like sexual, or sexual energy sounds like sexual, but it is beyond.
It's beyond.
It is beyond. It is the pure energy that gives you the access to love. It gives you the access to healing and to seeing the person. And in my workshops, there are women and men. It's mostly like 60 to 40%, 60% of women and 40% of men,
That's pretty good. That's good.
most of the time. Most of the time. I'm surprised that men are pulled into this space, not from the weird position, but mostly to learn how to be that container, how to have an access to that energy. And when they are in that space and they see how women see how men are going through this process, and then when they switch around and men see how women are going through this process, different yet
We
same.
got really lucky at the Love Immersion workshop where every single participant was willing to work with somebody of the opposite gender.
Yeah.
So you can take us through 5 minutes of accessing the energy orgasm. If you're listening, if you're listening, you probably want a little taste of this, a little sample of it. And
Mm-hmm.
Natalya has a 5 minute exercise
Yeah.
that she can lead you through right now so you can feel the energy in your body and what's possible for you.
Yes, let's do it. So, as I mentioned, every single person is the container or the stream of energy. Some of you might feel it, some of you don't feel it. Some of you are skeptical, some of you already feeling a lot of energy moving through your body. But even if you feel some type of tingly or some type of the warmth in any part of your body, this is how you feel the energy. And once you get to know it, you can be in charge of it of making it smaller or bigger. Like if you are in with your partner in a romantic situation, you can kind of like open up your energy to 100% so that you both are dancing in this orgasms and love and pleasure and passion and desires. If you're in a business meeting, you might turn it off to like 20% or 50%, right? So that, or if you're in a very dark alley, you can turn it down completely so that your energy is not seen by others, so that you just walk through this alley unnoticeable. But right now, this is not what we are doing. What we are doing right now is I'm going to bring you back to your sensations in the body because energy lives in your body. And most of the time, you can feel it through sensations. That's kind of like an indicator of that energy. And if you're sitting down, you can either sit down or you can lay down, whichever you prefer at the moment. And I want you to find your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor is the muscles of your anus and the muscles of the one that you need to engage when you want to hold, you want to pee, but you can't, you're in the car. So I want you to start engaging those muscles, like bringing those muscles in, kind of like creating those reps of engagements. And more of that, I want you keep engaging and kind of like pulling those muscles in. So you're not just squeezing them, but you're giving a direction of pulling those muscles into your body. For women, inside of your vagina, right? For men, it's just inside of your body, kind of in and release, and in and release. So with this movement, we are pumping that energy. in your sexual center. And engage and release. And engage and release. Engage and release. Engage and release. Engage more and keep it engaged, 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 and very slowly release, 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 release. Now you can start feeling that there's something already happening in your lower belly or your lower or in your muscles. And you're going to place both hands on your lower belly. This is where your sexual energy is. And before that, actually, let's warm up your hands, your palms. Let's warm it up. And separate your palms and see if you can feel this energy in between your palms. Yeah. Most of you can. And it could be smaller, just a small little ball, or it could be bigger. See how you can play with this. And from here, this is your energy. You want to bring it over your face and feel it on your face. Yeah. And then move it into your neck and feel it on your neck. And then bring it over your chest. Feel it on your chest. And we're getting lower onto your breasts and into your belly. And let's do this. From here, you're going to place your hands on your lower belly. Feel the warmth. If your hands are cold, feel the cold. Whatever sensations that you feel on your body, on your lower belly right now, this is perfect. Just feel those sensations. Like I said, energy lives in the body, and we feel the energy through sensations, no matter what kind of sensations. And just see how what kind of sensations that you feel in your lower belly. If it's the warmth, try, or it's the cold, try to move it through your lower belly. And maybe make some slight movements of your pelvic floor, kind of like winking. Kind of like winking. And release all your attention into your sexual center. And see if you can breathe in into your lower belly. Breathe in and see if there is some fire or any other movements in your lower belly. And you want to keep one hand on your lower belly and place another hand on your chest where your heart is, your heart energy center. And feel the difference in between sensations of your lower belly and your heart. And if you could just drop into those sensations, into those movements, and open and surrender to those sensations. And surrender to those sensations. You could feel, some of you might feel the movements throughout your body. Or just sensations in your body. And let's see how this stream of energy that moves all the way from the sky moves into the crown of your head, through your body, through your chest, moving it into your sexual center and into your feet and going all the way to the earth, making you to be that channel of energy that connects you to the earth of the energy. Yes. To the energy of the earth and the energy of the sky. Right? The sexual energy is the center of it. Yes. And through that, it moves into your heart and expanding through the heart into the world. Mm-hmm. Yes, Christina, you can go for it.
One of my favorite things is when I walk through workshop and you're like, yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Feel it,
Feel
feel
it,
it, feel it.
feel it, feel it, feel it. Yes, Christina, feel it.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes, and you can take a deep inhale into your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Come back to your body. Come back to your room, wherever you are.
Wow. It's different than what we typically think of an orgasm to be.
Yes,
It's another category of orgasm.
it is.
You know, you have your clitoris orgasm, you have your vaginal orgasm. There's so much, you know, we'll go into the anatomy in another podcast with a sex expert in that particular area, but there's so much that down there that you can feel. And this one is activated through your entire body. And I would say in recent years during sexual encounters, I've been able to be like the full body
Mm-hmm.
twitching and the staying, like feeling that energy. And I definitely tapped into it here in this seat, uh, which is, you know, it was a sweet moment too when you're working on your computer in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
day, or, you know, you're cooking dinner and maybe you're solo by yourself and you can just tap into that sensory experience of pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so simple. You know, it's with yourself, with your own energy field. Sometimes if even just, I don't know, taking
Mm-hmm.
your hand, as you say, of playing with the energy, or even as Melissa D, a sex educator who was also with us at the last love immersion, of, you know, taking your fork or
Mm-hmm.
a spoon or a spatula or an iPhone charger and just caressing your body with this and feeling those sensations that create greater
Mm-hmm.
aliveness. And that's what this is all about, is
That's,
feeling a greater sense of aliveness.
yes. And once you learn it, you're all set. It's kind of like you learned a set of skills pretty much that will set you up for the rest of your life. You can come back to it at any time you need it, like in the just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or for an hour. And like you said, yes, regular orgasms, the physical orgasms, the average lasting orgasm is 60 seconds, where this can last you for minutes, for hours, even for days. Once you get to in this space for longer, like you practice a little bit more so that your nervous system and your psyche will let you go in these sensations for days. And it is also I did some tests on my students before and after the workshops and before and after the trainings, testosterone level tests and EEG, you know, the brain neuro waves. And we had such incredible results of like testosterone levels coming up like up to 300 um, nanomilligrams in 2 days. Like,
Biohackers, listen up. You don't need any shiny gadgets or gizmos for this one. Just yourself.
just yourself, or another facilitator who can teach you how to do that. And
And then once you know how to do it, it's reminding, it's being in a practice circle or having other friends who can remind you to do this exercise.
mhm,
It's like going to the gym. Got to get to keep going and using these muscles.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like first you kind of like you learn how to do this, and then you just keep it up. Like a maintenance, like a couple of times a week, or if you want every day, depends on like how fit you want to be.
Now, this podcast is being recorded. It is the summer of 2026. How beautiful does that sound, summer of 2026. And Natalya, you have upcoming trainings, but even beyond, if somebody's listening to this 2 years later, they can go to your website and discover where you'll be, join your training, join a workshop. Where can they find you?
You can find me energyorgasms.com.
Of course.
It's pretty easy. Energyorgasms.com. This is where we put all the trainings and all the workshops.
And you have got to go to Natalya's Instagram. It is, by the way, this is how we've stayed in touch. I met Natalya about 4 years ago when I was visiting Miami. I went to the Tantra studios for a sound bath. I brought my bonus mom to her first sound bath ever. And I met Natalya there. I don't even remember the interaction, but somehow it was maybe a short, brief interaction. And we started following each other on Instagram. And over time, I would see her Instagram post and be like, what is she doing? Like, what is she drinking? I want some of this. And about a month ago, I reached out to her because she was doing a training and I was interested in flying from Austin, Texas to Miami to do that training, because I do what I do. And I ended up luring her into Austin, Texas a couple of times now.
Yes. And more than that, we're doing the training in Austin.
We're doing the training in Austin, Texas, September 2026. So you do trainings in New York City, Austin, Miami. I'm sure there'll be other locations based upon when you're listening. If you want one in your city, you know what to do.
Yes. Birmingham.
And definitely check out your Instagram and follow her on Instagram and in that journey. What's the Instagram?
Instagram is my name, Natalya Krayeva.
Isn't that so beautiful how she pronounces it?
Yes, Russian style. And yes, on the Instagram you will see the gallery, the art gallery of Energy Orgasms.
The art gallery of Energy Orgasms. I had one of my colleagues, we're collaborating on some post, and one colleague reached out. This is before the love immersion. She's now since participated in the energy orgasm, and the skepticalism went away. She's like, Christina, I don't know if you should keep that collaboration post. It might scare some people away. We're about to go into the Beyond Biohacking Conference, and, you know, they might think we're cuckoo if you have that up there. And it's, but it really is real, and it's so pure. That's also the one thing we use the word orgasm. It is orgasm, and there is such a deep purity into the work that you're doing as well.
Yeah, I just posted a couple of times lately some of the videos with men, and I'm sad to say, but people in the comments, they're like, oh, it was okay when you were posting women. It looks like they look beautiful when they're going through orgasms. But why do you have to post men?
We're in the middle in society right now. We're going to make the jump. Yes. Yeah. And see the beauty in it. If you can really tap into there's a vulnerability to being able to open yourself up like that. And also, I know I've been in those workshops with you of it's consent oriented.
Yes.
If you do not want to be videoed, you're not videoed.
We don't do that.
But to sharing behind the scenes is really important for people to realize what's possible for you. And it's time. It's time to wake people up through orgasm. Let's do it.
Without those videos, people would know what's possible.
Yeah. Yes. And hey, you can bring Natalya out for you and your friends and do a little private session. You don't have to do it in the public if you don't want to. You'll do some private workshops, of course.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that as well.
Thank you so much, Natalya, for being a colleague in love, for supporting We Deepen with your magic, and for doing your dharma out in the world. Thank you for being a yes
Really?
to that.
Thank you. Thank you for, oh, I don't know what to say, like for you. Thank you for you.
Thank
I
you.
would end with that.
Thank you. And if you're listening, what I love most is being with you in person. It's great that you're getting to know me online, but I really want to know you. We've talked about love immersion here today. We just did our 7th one. Depending upon when you're listening, I don't know, maybe we'll be at our 28th one. But we want to include you. I don't want to say don't want to miss out. A lot of people do have FOMO inside the Love Club when they don't make a love immersion. If I want you to come and to be a part of it, and then you get to have your own experience because you are the main character of your life and you are creating and writing a phenomenal story. And what Love Immersion does, Love Club does, being a part of the We Deepen ecosystem, it gives you scenes, sets for you to unveil more of you, to discover bits and pieces of yourself that you do not even know exists. And that is the true love experience. Love is the process of removing layers of your ego, your fears, negativity, things that are holding you back from being the highest, greatest version of yourself, coupled with ever increasing acts of sharing because you give to who you love. And being a participant at Unexperienced, saying yes to that is such a gift that you give of sharing yourself with us and with each other. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, enjoy.